I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. I'd like to continue another taxi tale. And this taxi tale is brought to you by my good friend Brian. Now Brian has sent me another scotch and I've had a bitch of a day. So let's have a look here. We're going to try one of this new scotch that Brian's just sent me. And I've got to say, I am really touched. And it's called Tobermory. And it's a beautiful scotch. I love a quality scotch, governor. I love a quality scotch. And, you know, as I said in the story here, not all the stories are 100% legit, governor. So let's pour a little scotch. So this is first testing of this new scotch that turned up for me from Brian. What a cool guy. Okay, this is the Tobermory. It's the aged 15-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. Let's have a smell, sniff, and just look at my annual calendar. If you're a bit bored. That's a damn good scotch, Brian. Thank you so much. So let's jump straight into taxi tales. And you know, I gotta say, you know, when I was in the taxi, I used to often go to the international airport because the punters didn't know Brisbane. And I'd always say, when I picked up newies, tourists, I'd say, where are you from? I'm not trying to be friendly. I'm trying to work out which fucking way to take them. The scenic route or the quick way. So, you know, that's how it is in the taxi business. And it's a fucking mean business to make money in. Those fuckers at Brisbane Airport Corporation, they are the meanest, nastiest fuckers there are. Man, are they nasty. You know, I remember one time I helped a customer out with their luggage, and the bastards fined me because I helped this old Italian couple get a trolley, and they said, technically, sir, you've left your cab, therefore you get fined. And I thought, what a bunch of bastards. And I wrote a letter in, tried to dispute it. Nah, they weren't having it. It's these little fuckers who do the security and that for Brisbane Airports Corporation. They're just mean, nasty fuckers. You know, you give someone a bit of power who's an absolute dead shit normally, and it just goes to their fucking heads. That's all I can say. Now this story here is told to me by Muzza. Muzza was another driver, and I alternated with Muzza when we did shifts. I'd do the night shift, he'd do the day. I'd do the day shift, he'd do the night. So Muzza, you know, Muzza was always good for a good yarn, and you know, Muzza was a great, he's a long-established driver. Unlike Archie, who was always very green. I was always fucking green when it came to the punters. And just let me have another sip of this scotch. Brian, you spoil me so much. And let me just tell you the story. Okay, so Muzza, this was on a Saturday night. Okay, Saturday night, about 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning. Sunday morning, I should say. And anyhow, Muzza's dropped some punters off, and then there's a guy. This is in Indooroopilly, suburb of Brisbane, upmarket suburb I might add, very close to the Walter Taylor Bridge. And anyhow, what happens is that this guy comes up, flags the taxi. He's sort of a half Indian, half Caucasian sort of chap. And he comes up to the driver's window. So Muzzer puts it down. Now, in the taxi, the most important thing in the taxi is money. Okay, so if anyone comes over to your window, you immediately, where your coin dispenser is, you immediately put your hand on the coin dispenser, because money is the most valuable shit in the taxi. So immediately the hand went down there, because he didn't want someone to grab in, pinch the coin dispenser and fuck off. And the guy goes, oh, he's quite a well-spoken gentleman. He goes, excuse me, can you tell me how much it is to go to Chelmer? And Muzzer goes, well, mate, it's 5:60 flag 4. It's 2 a.m. and Chelmer's just over the other side of the bridge. That's Chelmer. And the guy goes, geez, that's a bit expensive. And Muzzer doesn't want to fuck around. He's got fares coming out of his ass. They're all over the place. Just go. In the early morning, go to the city, pick up the party goers and bring them back. You get a good fares. He said, mate, do you want me to take you to Chelmer or you don't? And the guy goes, oh, look, mate, I'm sorry to have a go at you. He goes, let me shake your hand. This is fucking weird. Let me shake your hand. So that the guy puts his hand through the window. Muzzer's got his hand on the coin rack. So the guy starts touching Muzzer's palm. And the guy gets his index finger and starts ploughing it into Muzzer's palm. And Muzzer's thinking, this is fucking weird. And the guy goes, how about I pay you another way? And he's putting his finger into Muzzer's wrist, the index finger, into Muzzer's wrist. And then finally it dawned on Muzzer that this was a homosexual pickup. Muzzer was shocked, because Muzzer's a bit homophobic, you know. Sometimes, look, personally, Archie, I'm a gay icon, okay? I'm proud to have gay fans, but I'm just telling you the taxi tale. So this guy's ploughing his index finger into Muzzer's palm. Muzzer grabs his fucking index finger and goes, crack! Pulls it out of the fucking socket. The guy immediately falls to the floor on the road. And Muzzer just lost it. He said, mate, don't you ever fucking disrespect me again. I will fucking drive over you. And the guy's in pain. He's had his index finger's been snapped out of the socket. I mean, Muzzer, fucking go easy on the punters. And, yeah, and that's it. The Muzzer just hits the gas and gets the fuck out of there. And, yeah, it's certainly, that's one way to deal with a sex pest. And, I gotta say, hey, Muzzer, you know, I personally wouldn't have been so aggressive there. I think you just gotta fucking tone it down a bit. But sometimes when you're driving a taxi and it's fucking 2 a.m. and someone disrespects you, it's easy to get the fucking shits. I mean, what right did this guy have to fucking make a sexual advance of Muzzer? And I gotta tell you, everyone always asks the taxi drivers, oh, do you get propositioned? Do you get propositioned? And I tell you honestly, you mainly get propositioned by fucking men, okay? For probably I'd say every 10 men, 1 woman propositions you. And it's really fucking strange. In the taxi, you suddenly realise, what does it feel like to be a woman? What does it feel like to be a piece of meat? Because I remember I had this ugly fucking bitch in the cab. She's doing her lipstick. And she goes, do you think I look pretty, driver? And I just sort of thought, yeah, you look lovely, sweetie. And she said, oh, if I don't pick up, maybe you can take me home. And I'm thinking, fuck, that's not what I had in mind, love. But I did have once. I had this really attractive young girl in the car. She would have been about 20. And she jumps in the taxi and she starts unbuttoning. She sits on a side there and starts unbuttoning. And I said, "What are you doing, love?" She goes, "I'm paying for the fare." And I said to her, "Sweetie, that sounds lovely, but I'm just a bit worried how you paid for morning tea this morning." And yeah, that's how it is in the taxi. You're treated like a piece of meat. There's no fucking respect. No respect. And that's the big problem in the taxi game. No fucking respect. And look, I soon with the taxi game, I got to be honest with you. I drove normal cabs, then I drove business class. Business class was a lot better. And I also did limousines. And I mean, limousines are interesting, you know. You get a better class, you punter. But, you know, the problem is in this day and age, no one fucking tips. In the limousine, it's mainly on account or credit card. In the taxi, it's fucking, you know, everyone pays by FPOS. FPOS gouges 10% service charge, and they get so fucked off they don't tip you anything. So it's pretty fucked, really. It's pretty fucked. And I never earned much. I mean, fuck, you talk about a bad, you know, socialism and the evils of it. When I was driving, you know, I had, you know, I was earning, I had a full-time job, and I did it part-time also as a second job. And I was earning about $10 an hour. Of the $10 an hour I was earning, I was losing $3 in tax, so that gave me $7 left. And I was losing another 30% of the gross, so another $3 of the $10 to child support, because my maintenance was worked out on 30% of your gross in Australia. So I ended up driving a cab for $4 an hour in my pocket. And I mean, fuck! $4 an hour? You don't have to be that fucking smart to realise that ain't a fucking good business. So, that's incentive in a country with a fucking big socialist government. They just fuck you over. That's the way it goes there. And I gotta say, I had some really rude fucking punters in the car. Mean fuckers. I remember, you learn all sorts of tricks because you're making so little. You learn all sorts of tricks. I had these really arrogant fucking Americans, and they gave me two $20 notes, and he goes, "Oh, round it up." The fare was $18. He goes, round it up, you keep $1 for yourself." I said, no, sir, that's okay. And I kept one of the $20 notes. That's a great trick, because there's just greedy fuckers. Another great trick is with these punters. I remember I had some drunks in the car. He lost all his money in the car. I said, "Oh, I'll help you pick it up." You stuff a few fucking handfuls of change in your pocket, that's for sure. Fuck you, drunkard! And you're also, man, it's just vicious industry. The women, you know, how many people were sick in my taxi? Well, man, it's mainly the fucking women who can't handle their booze. And that's what got me out of the game. I thought, oh, this is shit. 2 women vomiting in the car. Fuck. And I gotta say, it's just a fucking nasty, mean industry. It just sucks. Absolutely sucks. And, you know, I had some runners. I had runners, they go somewhere and they just bolt out of the taxi. So if ever, you know, what I used to do is then if anyone was ever dodgy, I'd always stop the car and put it into reverse. I had a big T-bar automatic. Put the fucker into reverse. And then what I'd do is, if they did a runner, the doors, I'd just take my foot off the brake, the doors would come flying, and hopefully you'd fucking give one of the fuckers a good whack. And that's just how it is. It's a nasty, mean industry. You are dealing with the shit of society. When you're a taxi driver, you never seen people so low. I've never seen cockroaches so fucking low as when I drove taxis. And I gotta say, fuck you, parasites. And that's the customers I liked. And I gotta say, you know, years later, I I don't normally take taxis. I can't afford it. But years later, I was in a cab, and I had this Aussie, Skippy. They call him a Skippy. He's an Aussie. A Skippy driver who's saying, oh, all the Indians are coming. All these fucking Indians are coming. He goes, people can get killed and they can get taken away. And I said, you know something? I drove taxis. I drove taxis for 3 months. And you want me to tell you something? 98% of my customers deserve to fucking die. Fucking told him. And it's just a shit game. Just a shit game. I might have to go back in the saddle, but if things don't pan out, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. I'm Archie Luxury. This has been Taxi Tales. Tell me what you think. And I may have a few limousine stories if you're interested, but you know, I don't want to just flood the channel with taxi tales. These are all tales that I've saved the good ones for the program. So yeah, tell me what you think. This would probably, it may be one of the last taxi tales, but I hope you've enjoyed this segment. And yeah, do you like my annual calendar? I'm Archie Luxury. Tell me what you think. Good story, Archie. Your friend's a bit fucking brutal.